confirmed about Her Majesty the Queen. A lot of people are looking at it in a dark side. But what is the true story concerning the latest health regarding our wonderful monarch of 70 years? Hi, good morning. Neil Sean here in the very heart of London, a very warm London again. We've had rain, we've had snow, we've had a bit of sleet in fact, but now it's back to sunshine. It's all part of the day. About you, I don't mind it myself. You get all the seasons in one day, don't you? I don't really know what the problem is. Thank you as ever also for all your kind comments about all those recent stories. I'm glad you enjoyed the one about Catherine and the Queen's shoes being broken in. I know, I couldn't believe it myself. Wonderful story though, and is fact, you know. Angela Kelly is the lady that makes sure Her Majesty's shoes are the most comfortable. I think it's more of a sort of yesteryear thing though than today's, don't you? Don't know about you, I don't fancy somebody else's trotters in my shoes. No, it's a bit of a thorny thing really, isn't it? Let's not go there. Ooh, no. Back as ever though to your breaking roll story of the day. This story really all centres upon the fact that now we're gearing up to the last strides of naming our brand new British Prime Minister. As we told you before, they're normally interred by going over to Buckingham Palace or Windsor Castle to meet the monarch. And basically the monarch then says, as part of history, you know, would you like to form a government? That Prime Minister says, yes, Your Majesty. There's a brief meeting, a bit of a chat, lots of cameras, pictures, and then they go off to put their cabinet together and Her Majesty gets back on with the business of being a monarch. Now, what everybody's really getting excited about is that Our Gracious Majesty the Queen has decided to stay up in Balmoral, where she's currently on holiday on her summer break. Now, as we've told you before, a lot of people are now speculating how ill is the Queen. Now, what she's got, as we've told you before, are mobility problems. You know, some days are good, some days are not. Obviously, you know, I would say possibly being up there would be very good for her. Great fresh air, lots of countryside, you know, basically just taking it steady, away from prying eyes. It must be difficult when you think about it as well. You get to 96 years old and everybody's criticising you. I think she looks marvellous for her age, and to be able to stand for any length of period of time is amazing in itself. You know, why are we trying to run this person down? Don't totally get it. But because, as I say, the latest British Prime Minister will be going to Balmoral, everybody's suggesting that Her Majesty is of grave ill health. What we can tell you first and exclusive as ever here on the show is, yes, as I say, there are good and bad days. Some days are better than others, but on the whole, Her Majesty is in fine health. Sharp as a tack, busy as ever with the red boxes, and busy greeting people, seeing senior members of her family, and of course chatting away to locals and friends on the telephone, and no doubt enjoying the occasional episode of one of her all-time favourite comedy shows, Hello Hello. So for those people that are trying to write her off, particularly the media, on a very slow news day, don't be so hasty. This monarch will be back in London, normally around the beginning of October time, to resume various duties. Do we see her resuming them, you know, full time as she has before? No, as we've told you also before, most of the major duties will now be taken up by Prince William and indeed Prince Charles. But for here, let's just wish our gracious monarch all the very best and hope that she gets a lot more mobile in the weeks to come. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.